Is going to love this guy. Just another big guy that he can stick on the line. You had to know Rex Ryan was going defense with all these toys still on the draft board. You know he was going defense. Maybe took one of the best of them in Muhammad Wilkerson. Still see Bowers sitting on the board. Still see Cameron Hayward. But Muhammad Wilkerson's going to be a great fit in New York. It's going to fit perfectly into that defense. Rex Ryan's going to love him.
It remains to be seen whether the Jets fans will fall in love with Muhammad Wilkerson. To get an initial reaction, let's go to Studio A.
Let me tell you guys, even after all those remarks that Rex Ryan recently said about how they're going to be over the Giants, he's going to need some men to get that done. One thing about Muhammad Wilkerson, he is a man. What do you think about this guy?
I think it was 6'4", 315, and like we just said, it looks like he's going to cut some weight. But this is exactly what the Jets needed. They need someone who can rush the passer, and this is, like I said, this is what they needed right now. Again, Rex Ryan, defensive-minded guy. If you're a Jet fan like me, got to be happy. Stay defensive-minded. They've already got a great offense, so go from there.
And you know Jet fans do not play. It's hard to please them, but it seems as though this is a pick that they're really going to like, Joey.
Certainly a lot of potential for Muhammad Wilkerson at the 30 spot, Eugene. Let's recap the last 5 picks. Muhammad Wilkerson just went to the New York Jets, and these 5 picks really, to me, are about upside. Look at Gabe Carimi. He was a value pick falling down that far to Chicago at 29. Mark Ingram at 28, someone for the New Orleans Saints to add to their stable of running backs. 27, Jimmy Smith from Baltimore. He was all about upside, some character issues. And 26, John Baldwin, another guy with upside, great size for Kansas City. The 31st pick we'll see very soon, but now the Pittsburgh Steelers are officially on the clock.
The 2010 Pittsburgh Steelers season was one that began in uncertainty and ended in near glory. Gone were the familiar faces of Willie Parker and Santonio Holmes, but worst of all, star quarterback Ben Roethlisberger was suspended for the first 4 games of the season for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. Mike Tomlin and the Steelers D didn't skip a beat though, as they finished 3rd in the NFL in takeaways, 2nd in yards allowed, 1st in points allowed, and 1st in sacks. The key force behind Pittsburgh's defensive attack once again was safety Troy Polamalu, who won the 2010 Defensive Player of the Year award. With Big Ben back at the helm, the Steelers pushed towards the playoffs with a 12-4 record. The offensive attack was led by the future of the franchise, running back Rashard Mendenhall and wide receiver Mike Wallace, who combined for over 2,500 total yards and 23 touchdowns. After defeating the Ravens and Jets in the playoffs, Pittsburgh was off to Arlington for Super Bowl 45. Take on the Green Bay Packers. Despite having the ball with a chance to win late in the 4th, Roethlisberger couldn't lead another historic drive, and the Lombardi Trophy headed back to Lambeau. But last year is last year, and the black and yellow have the hunger and fire to go get their 7th Super Bowl title now. Which player will be called upon today to help write the next chapter in Steelers history?
Which player indeed will have the great honor of being the next Pittsburgh Steeler? We're about to find out at number 31.
With the 31st pick of the 2011 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Cameron Hayward, defensive end, Ohio State.
Cameron Hayward is a pick, a guy that can certainly fit into the Pittsburgh Steelers system as a 3-4 defensive end, looking to shore up that defensive line. Hayward's the selection.
And Hayward will fit seamlessly in Pittsburgh's 3-4 system. Coming from a football pedigree as his father playing in the NFL for multiple years, Hayward, a dominant force, extremely powerful as he's mowing over offensive line. And this guy is going to wreak havoc for Pittsburgh, finding ways in there. We mentioned the trench wars against teams like Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland. This is the kind of guy that's going to help Pittsburgh get to that next level.
Gotta have warriors.
Yeah, they have some great guys in the linebacking core. James Harrison, James Ferrier, a guy like that. Cameron Hayward putting him on the line in front of those guys. Great spot. 294 pounds. He is a monster of a defensive end. Can only make this Pittsburgh defense even better. Would have liked to see them take an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Offensive line is getting a little weak. Roethlisberger got sacked, I think it was 1,500 times last year. Something
Give or
like
take.
that. Always on the ground. Would have liked to see them take a lineman. Derek Sherrod would have been a great pick for the Steelers, but couldn't pass up these weapons on defense. Dick LeBeau loves to blitz, and he's got another great pass rusher in Cameron Hayward.
Hayward's certainly a good fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers 3-4 scheme. We'll go over now to Studio A. I hear we have a fellow Steelers fan.
I'm here with Brian Dubiak, who is a Steelers fan. Cameron Hayward is a guy that's going to be good on your defensive front. Well, is that what the Steelers need?
He's going to be good, and they can use it. They always take the best player available. I think the corner, definitely they need better cornerbacks. They got to work on that. Billy was right about the O-line, but the Steelers really, they make their money in the late rounds, and I think that's where they're going to come up with it. But Cameron Hayward's a good player. They picked a good player, so I'm all right with it.
And you know, anything with the Steelers, even with their the fact that they didn't have all their players in the season, they still were able to make it as far as they could last year. But you know what? We have one final pick remaining, and it's the team that was able to top the Steelers, the Green Bay Packers. We will know this with our final commercial break, so make sure that you join us to cap off this 2011 NFL Draft.
Some people told us that we didn't have enough energy and spirit on the show. I always thought we did, but I guess not. So we thought it'd be a good idea to bring the Elon Phoenix mascot on the show and give us a little bit of energy. Pump us up.
All right, bud, I'm just going to put this microphone on you. All right, you're going to talk right in there to camera, too. Just going to read the words that come up. Let's see some emotion. All right, you're going to be great. All right, stand by.
Okay, everybody, we're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, mic, and cue.
Oh, boy.
Oh my gosh. Sam, that division's on the rise, right?
This is why I'm an MLB expert.
Oh, hold on. What are you doing?
Dude.
What?
And the Candyman is back. You know the Candyman is back.
You must await your destination. Await your city. Await your fate. This is your moment. This is the NFL Draft.
Welcome back to live coverage of the 2011 NFL Draft here in Studio B. Now on the clock for the final and 32nd selection of the first round, the Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers.
After a promising 2009 season ended in a playoff loss, the 2010 Packers had one goal in their mind: win the Lombardi Trophy. With quarterback Aaron Rodgers at the helm, it came as no surprise that the Packers finished top 5 in passing offense and top 10 in scoring offense in the NFL. Led by Clay Matthews, the Packers defense surprised many, finishing top 5 in total defense and number 2 in scoring defense in the league. Still, after disappointing losses at Detroit and at New England, the Packers stood at 8-6 and had 2 must-win games to get into the playoffs. After eking out 2 wins in the final 2 games, the rockstar Packers took their Super Bowl tour on the road to Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Chicago before making their grand finale in the Big D. There, the Pack beat the Steelers